Happy holidays, everyone. I'm happy to be back making some tutorials. I'm also happy that I published my second mod, which is part 2 of a custom campaign mod based on A Dream of Silence. I will link this in the video description in case you want to check out what someone originally completely experienced with modding can do with the toolkit. So yeah. And that was the only self-promotion I'm going to do here. Today I'm going to talk about something entirely different. I'm coming to you today with a guide I've been wanting to make for a long while. Apologies for my voice. I'm currently dying of the plague. So yeah, today's video is about origin characters. More precisely how to make them, kinda, in a simple way. My intention with this guide is to make a tutorial on how to create an origin character or a companion that you can use in your custom campaign. It will be a quite simple guide. It will not have all the details or all the scripts, but my ambition here is just to show you how to make something that works and something you can build on. And the reason I'm doing this is that I need this for one of my projects, and I couldn't really find any complete guides that would give you all of the sort of minimal required details. So let's try to do this today. So as you can see here, I'm in the toolkit. I am Kalak, and you can see 2 other NPCs as well. Here we have Cassador and we have Deliria. So these 2 I've already put through this process. So what sort of character can you use to create an origin or a companion? As far as I can understand, literally anything, as long as it's a character. For the sake of simplicity, since we already have 2 elves here, I'm going to choose another elf. And we will set that elf up as an origin. So let's find something interesting. For example, let's see. What about this charming Shadar Kai Ranger? Yeah, I have not seen this lady in the game before, so she is a nice victim for our tutorial. I will go through what I'm doing step by step, show you how it's done. I will make a summary in the description of the YouTube video. And just a caveat before we start. So this is how I've decided to do it based on very limited knowledge for my custom campaign. So some stuff might be missing, and can definitely not guarantee that this will work flawlessly for the base game. So you probably will be able to get started making an origin character for the base game here, but as we'll get into later, there are a ton of scripts that control the behavior of origin characters, and actually it's a lot easier to solve that in a custom campaign, because in a custom campaign you're making everything yourself, so it's not tied into what's already present in the base game, if you get my meaning. That might become more clear as we continue this guide. But first of all, let's take our Shadar Kai Ranger and place her into our level. So we have selected the NPC we want. This NPC is present in the root templates. So some NPCs only exist in the actual levels. Sorry, my voice. Some NPCs only exist in the levels they live in. For example, Araj, the drow in Moonrise Towers, only exists in the relevant level. Other NPCs, such as, surprisingly, the vampire spawn and Cassador and such, are easily found in root templates. So these root templates we're looking at are basically the globally available files in the base game. So what we are going to do is copy this ranger to our mod. So I'm going to create new from selected. I will place her in our test project the one that we're seeing right now, which is called level 7 for some obscure reason. And I'm just gonna call her Kai Ranger, and I'm just gonna type tutorial. We are now creating a copy of this Shadar-Kai Ranger tutorial. She now shows up here, but if we select only our project, you'll see that she's here. Okay. We will take this Shadar-Kai Ranger and place her into the level. Whoop, I sure hope that she's wearing something else. Okay, yeah, cool. Here she is. Very interesting character. Looking quite a bit like Deliria. Okay, so now the fun starts. So the most confusing part, at least for me, with creating a companion or an origin in a custom project is that we're actually not referring to the root template version. We are going to refer to the character we have placed in our level. So you can look at this copy of our root template by going to the sidebar for the thing, the elf in our level. We can inspect the sidebar. So there's one important thing we have to do. We have to set this NPC to global. That's the first thing and the most important thing, and then we can carry on to the next steps. We will also change the name of this NPC, and you can name it whatever you want. The important part is that it shouldn't be named 000011. So it's a good idea to follow the naming conventions of the actual companions or origin characters. So you see Kalak is S-player Kalak. S just means that there are scripts associated with the character. Of course, when you make your own origin, then you might not even have any scripts associated with it, except a few. So let's just name this one S player Shadar-Kai, right? Cool. So now we have S player Cassador, S player Deliria, and S player Shadar-Kai. Our next step is going into some tables. We want the object editor, and as you can see in my project level 7, we already have an origins table where I have Cassador in Deliria. So this origins table will create a file that tells the game who the origin characters are. We can have a look at this for the base game. So it's always hard to remember which thing to pick, but okay, so the different parts, let's see, shared maybe. So shared dev has all of the hirelings specified. But I think that if we go to Gustav, we will see the standard origin characters. So here you can see you have Astarion, Lysel, Gel, Shadowheart, Will, and Kalak. So these are the released origin characters. And if we go to Gustav Dev, perhaps we will see something else that's interesting. So we can open that one. Right. So in Gustav Dev, you can find some other interesting stuff. You of course have the standard origin characters. You have the Dark Urge. You have some sort of debug version of the Dark Urge. You have Alfira, and then you can also see entries for the companions, and actually also Losir, which is a companion you will only meet in the Lysel origin on the Nautiloid. So this guy is a Gith. Alright, so what are we looking at here? The reason I wanted to show you this list is because, of course, these are is because, of course, these are all the companions in the game. And this field is important because it tells you which characters are available in character creation. So Jaheira, Mintara, Minsk, Halcyon, etc. Are not in the character creation menu, but actually if you just check this box, you can change it and they will show up. So if you just want to make a companion, you can have this as hidden. If you want to make an origin character, someone you can actually play the game as, you can just check available. So what we're going to do now is create an entry in our mod here for our new Shadar-kai elf. So what do we call her? I mean, it would be nice if she had a name, but we call her Shadar-Kate. So we are putting in the name, and once we start putting stuff in here, UUID will show up. So now this is the origins table entry identifier, kind of. And then you can answer whether this should be a unique character. I think we say yes. I think that if we look here, you can see that all the standard non-custom characters are unique. So, okay, this was ours. Yeah. Is henchman? No. I think that we might find if we look at the hirelings. So the hirelings are henchmen. I guess it's a different word for hireling or slave. And they are not unique, so you can modify them when you recruit them. Okay, so will this Shadar-Kate be available in character creation? Yes, let's make her available. What should the display name be? I think Shadar-Kate is fine. So you can write the description for your character. Shadar-Kate tutorial victim. You can select the body type from the female, the body shape, standard, identity, well, who knows, female. Do we want to lock this selection? Yep. And then race and subrace. So we can have a look at our Shadar-Kate. What is she defined as? So it seems like the Shadar-Kate are elves. And I thought I saw high elf somewhere. Yeah, so the race is elf, high elf. You can change this as you like. There's even an entry for vampire, and you can use that. These things we have already set for the two other ones. Both Cassador and Deliria are elves. So I'm just going to copy these. But if you didn't know the identifiers that you want, then you could just go into the other files, yeah? For example, you can look at the origins list. If you wanted a Gith, we could look at Lizelle, and then go over here and find the race, identifier, background, etc. Should we lock the race? Yes. Background. So I think I put Sage for Deliria, so we can just copy this, see what happens. You can put in the god. Class, subclass. I'm just going to copy this because we can change that in character creation anyways. And then it's asking for the global template. So I think here is the part where it's easy to mess up. It's asking for a global template, and usually that's what you would find in root templates, but what it's actually asking for here is the identifier of this global character in our level, not the root templates. So let's use Castador as an example. You can see that the global template I set for Castador is the same identifier as the instance of Castador in my level, not the root template. So let's do the same thing for the shader Kate. I'm going to copy this GUID. I'm going to paste it here, where I put the same passives. Of course, you can modify this as you like. It's, yeah, really elf, appearances logged. And you can give her an equipment set. So currently, it doesn't look like she has an equipment set. So we can easily check this by let's equip. So she has some equipment, but she doesn't have an equipment set. So let's see if we just EQ. The easiest way to like test this is to just give the character the equipment set of one of the main companions. But maybe we'll have some fun before we die of the plague and select Floric's equipment set. So who knows what will happen. That is EQ Floric. So we just paste that here. And here you can set the voice tables. So if we have a look at actual companions like Astarion, Lysel, you see that there is a voice table that defines basically all the things these characters say in combat. But now we have entered everything here. So let's save it. So the next thing we have to do is to enter this new origin into the origin database. So we're going to have to open the story editor. And as you can see, so the orange scripts means that these scripts are in this mod. The other scripts are the base game. So you can see I played around with making some origin scripts for Castador and Deliria, but in the end, I think if you look at Deliria, it would be pretty obvious that I just like cancelled it because you don't need this. What this GLO origin entry does, and I think we can find it for the other characters. I never remember where anything is. So yeah, shared campaign. Mod wrapper. Okay, yeah, here. So under mod wrapper Gustav, you will find GLO origin Astarion, some other scripts related to Astarion. I think that you will also see how the scripts changed after EA. So there are often several entries in the story editor for each character. And I think several of the origin characters that were there from the start have these several entries. And if you just look at like origin Astarion, you can see that there are a lot of database entries that says something about alignment, camp flags, origin in party, part of the team, the may leave dialogues, the flags, what happens if you're dating, data about being in camp, and a ton of scripts that can be very useful to look at if you want to make a proper, like, full origin character for the base game. So I'm not going to even try to go into this in this tutorial. But what we are going to do is change the different script, which is actually under mod wrapper Gustav, under start. And it's actual start script. So when we open this, it's quite small. And it has in its section that defines the origin characters. So this was kind of the missing piece for me in doing this. And you can see, so we have the origin characters, and what you need to do is add your character to this list. You can see that I've added the player Castor and the player Deliria. So what we're going to do now is add our Shadar Kate. Oh yeah, and very importantly, so I'm editing the script now. Yeah, it's part of the base game. So it's orange here, and that's because I have copied it to my mod. So if you're doing this for the first time, you really have to do this if you don't want to mess up the base game. If you're changing a script that's orange, you're changing it in your mod. And when you like export your mod, you pack your mod, then this change will be part of your mod. If it's gray, you are changing the script in the base game, so you're making changes to the game installed on your computer, and you might very well break your PG3 install. So yeah, that's very important. So if you're doing this for the first time, right click it, it would be gray, right? Copy to my mod. Then it's a good idea to close the story editor and open it again, and then you will see that it shows up in orange. Yeah, so we are putting in our Shadar. Okay, so when you're using the story editor, you can just write a little part, and then you can press Ctrl plus space. And then you are getting a suggestion. It's Shadar K. So let's see here. Let's look at Cassador. And let's look at his identifier. And see what we used here. So as you can see, we are using the ID of the Cassador we have placed in our world, the one called as player Cassador. So we have to do the same for our Shadar Kai. Let's have a look at her. And let's just double check that we are using the same identifier. So yeah, it looks like it's the same. So that's good. So sometimes the story editor will suggest something that's from root templates and not the instance in our mod. So it's good to double check that. Yeah, so now we have put in our DB entry. Let's build. Build success, so it's good practice to like reload. Okay, so let's think about recruitment. So we have some stats, she has some equipment, we have placed her in the origin table, and she has a database entry as an origin character. So how are we going to recruit her? So the base game handles this in a few different ways. Well, actually, the base game handles this in one way, but there are a few different ways you can handle it. When you're creating a custom campaign or a story mod, you can do it any way you like. I made a dialogue for both Cassador and Deliria here, but I just used the flag. So I think I might, for this tutorial, just use the same approach. So for recruitment, it's actually useful to look at how it's handled in the base game. You can see that, let's see, somewhere here, I think all of the origin characters have some sort of recruitment dialogue. They have a standard in-party dialogue. There is a database of all of the dialogues in different entry. But so the way the base game handles this is that there is a flag that is set, a stariness in the party, and there is also a flag for recruitment that can be used. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, here. The flag origin add to party can be used if the appropriate things are set up. But for this guide, I will just show you how to sort of do it very simply by making your own flag. So you can see I made a little dialogue with Cassador. And he's saying, recruit me, must I? Yeah. Let's see how this works with him. So I'll talk to him. He'll say, recruit me, must I? And I made another entry for Deliria, so ignore that, please. Must I? Cassador, yeah. Okay, he is recruited. There he is. So let's do something similar for Shadarkai. Show you how to make a quick little dialogue. What we can actually do is just copy this, which is pretty fun, that you can just copy stuff and then empty dialogue we paste. Actually, before pasting it, we can set the speakers. Speakers, you set them here. And we have our Shadarkai. She's called S-Player Shadarkai now. There. And you need to add yourself, you're the player. Group players. And then we can paste. Yeah. So it doesn't have to say Cassador anymore. Let's say, can I? So the Shadarkai will tell us, recruit me. We will ask, can I? And she will reply, yes. And when she says yes, we will set the flag. It will not be Cassie recruited, it will be Shadarkate recruited. You recruited a Shadarkai. We'll add this flag. Sometimes it takes a while. So don't click anything, just be patient. You know, check Reddit or something. Okay, so the flag has appeared. We will remove the Cassador one and we will just make sure that when she answers, this flag is set. And then we just need to save this dialogue. So we'll call it Shadarkai recruitment. And we will make some sort of timeline, so we can just make a default timeline, which is not gonna look great, but it will work. So we don't really have to edit this timeline at all. And then we need a little script that tells us what this flag is going to do. So I'll just copy the ones I used for Cassador and Deliria, and they're very, very simple. You can make them a lot more complicated, but this is at least the starting point. So yeah, I called it Companion Cassador. Yeah, so this is what we want. So let's make a new one. We will call it level 7 Companion Shadarkate. And then we can just start changing things. So we made a new flag so we can generate definitions again. And the flag was Shadarkate something, yeah? I think it was Shadarkate recruited, don't you think? Then we are the player. And we need to replace Cassador in this script, so I just find the definition for our Shadarkai here. And we will just replace all the instances of Cassador. And then I will tell you something about this script. Okay, so we have replaced the Cassador entries with Shadarkai. So what are we doing if the flag is set? We are registering her as a companion. We are assigning her to the player. We are clearing a tag, a block resurrection tag. It's part of DB players, so it's a player character. It's part of the team. We check if our party is full. And then you can see I've commented there, does this work? No, it's an issue. So the call to check first time recruitment will not work because we haven't set up a lot of other things. But for now, we don't need it, at least not for this tutorial. We can set the flag that this is the origin state recruited for our Shadar Kai. We are setting the no follow flag to 0, so this means that this character will follow us. Adding a hook, and we are making her a player. So this script is based on different scripts for base game origin recruitment, and it works well for me. So you can definitely make this more complex if you want to, and I'm sure I'm missing some things that might be good to add here. But honestly, I just figured this out, and I really thought that it would be good for other people playing with this to have something to work from, especially since I couldn't find any guides that's based on the toolkit with Moonglasses to do this without like editing any files or anything. So let's build this script. Okay, so we changed the script, so let's just reload level and story. Yeah, unsaved items. Yes, we want to save it. So now let's assign our little dialogue to our shadow. I'm messing up the name already. Our Shadar Kate. Yep. Shadar Kate has disappeared. How weird. Yeah, so she is here. She is just invisible. Very strange. Let's reload level and story again. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure why she disappeared, but she's right there. So let's set her default dialogue. We called it level 7. Didn't we? Did we call it recruitment? Yeah, Shadar Kai recruitment. Okay, fine. Very nice. Alright, so let's try to talk to this invisible Shadar Kai. I don't know why she's gone. I'm gonna reload the toolkit. I'm gonna restart the toolkit. Okay, so we are back. And as we can see... Oop! Okay. Yeah, the Shadar Kai is back. Oh yeah, an interesting note. So what you see in the background here is... okay, it's a level template that I might go into in another video. I'm just going to show you. See. So level templates. We talked about this before. But this is the one called LT-sys-CCI. And if you place this into your level, you will get the ability to level up your character, and you also get icon generation. So if you don't have this in your custom project, then whenever you level up your character, their icon will be grayed out. But if you have this, you will get icon generation. So that is the short of it. So let's try to talk to our Shadar Kai. So she is asking for recruitment. And we have recruited her. How interesting. I just want to make a new timeline for this because I thought it looked quite boring. Let's just select something else. So in my actual mod projects, I use timeline templates from the base game as templates because I think they look a lot better. But basically, I just want to see her face, you know, when we're talking to her. So let's just pick something random where we think that we can actually see her face. Yeah, so that is looking a lot better. So as you can see, we have already recruited her, but we're just going to talk to her again. Yeah, so that's what she looks like. Very nice, isn't it? It's a new companion. Yep, so yeah, recruiting, and as you can see, we have now recruited her, so we can control her. When we can't see any stats or anything, we have not set any like default class for her or progressions or anything, but for some reason it has the ring of geniality. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, that's from the equipment set we gave her. Yeah. But what I really wanted to show you in this video is what happens if we then export this mod and load it up in the base game. So one more thing before we do that. I plan to make a video on how to like know what the minimum stuff you have to do to make a custom campaign work, like load, like let you have character creation and then let you start in your own level and not in the base game. I will just show you here quickly, and I'll paste this code in the YouTube video as well, but I plan to make a bigger video on this. But you have to, of course, copy this script to your mod. That's the set shared character creation. You have to go to the init section and you have to change the line that is here into this. So what we are saying is that after character creation is finished, our character will be sent to, in this case, level 7, which is the level that we're currently in. And then if you just do this, after the normal character creation, you will be transported to your world. Okay, so let's export this. I'll show you that. So okay, so I've set something as the menu level here. You don't have to worry about it. That is just for testing how to get a different main menu. But the thing I just wanted to show you now is that like we haven't set any startup level, character creation level, or lobby level, because I showed you, like the last script I showed you specifies that character creation is going on as normal and our startup level will be wherever we're sent after character creation. So in my experience, if you put things in here and also have that script, things get really fucking weird. Yeah, so we're leaving this empty and we will publish our mod. When the mod is locally published, it will show up in your Baldur's Gate 3 mod folder. So without any mod manager or anything, you can just open up the game and find this. So let's do that. Okay, so here we are. Let's go to the mod manager. Let's check out what we have here. So we have the very excitedly named level 7 mod. And we will start a new game. So I'm excited about this because I'm not entirely sure if you can just pick a random NPC and make them an origin, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so here we are, we skip this.
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Let's see, are you Cazador? Maybe. Well, we are not here for Cazador, we are here for not Daluria either. We are here for our Shadar Kate. Here she is. Since we didn't specify anything, she is now class Warlock. She is an elf. She's a high elf. She has her high elf cantrip, and we can change her class to whatever we like. And she has the sage background, which is what we put in. Okay, so now the very exciting part is, will our game crash when we click proceed?
You need a guardian.
Okay, will our game crash if we proceed now? Okay, let's skip it. And here we are.
Best be on my way.
Welcome, we are Shadar Kate. Now, Shadar Kate is a ranger level 1. She has the standard ranger stats. We didn't change them. She is an elf. She has a ton of different stuff. She has the ring that we got from, oh, you know, I forget her name, the wizard lady, whose equipment set we stole. And she is in this strange little world with Dalyria and Cassador. So, shall we see if we can recruit them as well? Yep. There we go. Here is our unvamped Dal. Let's recruit her. Cool, so now we have a fun little team. So as you can see, we have a script that I didn't show you that gives these two a ton of experience when you recruit them. As you can see, we don't have the ability to level them up, so something is certainly missing from my scripts, but at least this is a place to start for making your own origin character, because as you may notice, we are perfectly capable of leveling up our Shadar Kate. Cool, so let's just do something. Yeah, so she's getting a ton of experience, so I'm not gonna bother leveling her up, but yeah, and portrait generation works as well. So that's basically it. So this was then my little tutorial video on how to get started creating an origin character. The team is running out. The team is running off into the sunset, and I'm sure you can think of a ton of fun characters to do this with. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to making more once I figure out more details about how to handle leveling, progressions, and stuff like that. So yeah, whoop. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for listening. Sorry about my voice again, and I see you again soon.